Hurst from Hamilton County Schools. We're going to continue our work with Russians today, the text that we started yesterday. So go ahead and do this warm up. When considering theme or message of a poem, what do you do differently from a typical fiction text when you're trying to figure that out? Pause me while you do that work and press play when you're ready to continue. All right, so today we are going to be analyzing the development of a theme over the course of a poem, which is pretty similar to how we've done it with just typical stories, things like that. However, there are a couple of ways that you can very specifically look for the theme in a poem. So since poems tend to say a lot in fewer words, some things that you might want to look for are repeated ideas, even more specifically repeated phrases or words, and particularly emotional images that you get when you are reading a poem. So that's what we're going to look for today. I'm going to do this first one, and then you guys are going to do the repeated phrases and the emotional ideas, and then our exit ticket is actually going to be to come up with a theme. So repeated ideas is a little bit different than repeated phrases. So repeated phrases, that's something that, you know, is pretty easy to identify because you're just looking for the actual repetition of words. When we're talking about repeated ideas, though, it doesn't necessarily have to be the same words, but maybe you picture the same thing. So I felt like the idea sharing or working together came up a couple of times. So I'm going to actually find evidence. The first time I noticed it was here where it says we share the same biology regardless of ideology. So I'm going to type that here. We share the same biology regardless of ideology. But then there was another one that I thought was really interesting, was where it said, what might save us, me and you, right? So we're not talking about just saving the narrator of the poem. We're talking about everybody, right? What might save all of us? So that's all we're going to do right now is actually find examples, and then we're going to look at what do they all have in common. So go ahead and take some time to find repeated phrases in the text. This can be one word or a couple of words together. Pause me while you do that work. All right, so some repeated phrases that I noticed was, I hope the Russians love their children too, or something about the Russians loving their children too. And then again, that line, we share the same biology regardless of ideology. All right, and finally, I want you to think back what in this poem might have been particularly emotional for a reader. Okay, pause me while you do that work. All right, for me, I think that one of the most emotional ideas was when the narrator said, how can I save my little boy? This idea of someone being able to save their child from danger, I think is very emotional for a lot of parents, and I'm not even a parent, and I still think it's pretty emotional. So now what our job is to look at these repeated ideas, phrases, and emotional ideas and think, what is the author trying to tell us? So this idea of sharing or working together, the repeated phrase of I hope the Russians love their children and we share the same biology, and this idea of saving their child from a bomb. Those are the things that really stood out to me. So your exit ticket today, remember that our CLT was to analyze the development of a theme over the course of a poem. We've done the work to figure out how it was developed, but now it is your job to determine and identify a theme. And then you're going to just take that work we did. How was it developed throughout the poem? Once you're done with that, you are good to go. Have a wonderful rest of your day.